Baiklah, kita akan bermula. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Selamat sejahtera kepada semua peserta, rakan-rakan pensyarah yang dapat hadir dalam sesi webinar pada petang ini. Sekali lagi kita bawakan webinar series organised by the Center for Development of Academic Excellence ataupun CDAE, Tuan Pusat Pembangunan Kecemerlangan Akademik, dibawakan kepada anda bagi mendedahkan anda semua kepada perkara-perkara yang perlu kita ketahui dan pelajari untuk meningkatkan kualiti pengajaran dan pengajaran di University Science Malaysia. Welcome also to other participants, especially on YouTube from other institutions. Welcome and thank you for joining our webinar series this afternoon. So today, in this session today, will be about 2 hours. The first hour, I will talk about what constitutes a good MOOC. So the title of this sharing this afternoon is What Makes a Good MOOC? And MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Courses. And this morning, I just finished a webinar with MQA to talking about micro-credential, okay? And maybe some of you have attended that session. So MOOC and micro-credential, they are similar in many ways. In many ways, they are very similar. So let me share the screen. And all the slides that you will see that I'll be sharing will be, I will share with you the link to download the slide at the end of this presentation, okay? Right, what makes a good MOOC? Initially, I plan to give this session to our MOOC Challenge 2021 participants, which we have not yet closed the application. So this MOOC Challenge 2021 is a continuation of our MOOC Challenge 2020. And hopefully this year, we will get more, maybe triple the number of participants or participation compared to last year. Last year, we get about 20 plus participation. And this year, we hope to get more than 50, maybe even 60 or even 70 or even 100 or more. Why not? Yeah. And the closing date has been extended to 21st of March. And the completed MOOC, you can submit by 15 September 2021. So that's ample time for you to do your MOOC. Yeah. But whatever number of participation for this MOOC challenge, we hope all the entries will, will have, or all the participants will submit high quality MOOC. But what is high quality MOOC? What are the features, the criteria of good MOOC? So this is what basically I want to share with all of you, especially the MOOC challenge participant, but basically to everyone who have done MOOC, who are doing MOOC, or who's going to embark on creating your own MOOC. There are minimum features or minimum set of requirements that we need to have, not only for MOOC, but generally for any online course. Okay, so this hopefully I can share with you. So first I will go through my presentation here, and I will share a screenshot of some examples of the so-called good elements that we should have in our MOOC. And then the second part, I will take you to to look at the real course, the real MOOC. I will show you a few examples, and along the way, I will try to relate with what I am going to share with you on the first part of this presentation. So feel free to ask questions feel free to post any comment or feedback on the chat box. Yeah. Okay. So there are three things that I hope you can take away from our session today. First, by the end of the session, I hope you will be able to identify what are the main elements of good online course, what constitute good online course, and therefore, by extension, Mooc or micro-credential, because they are online course. Then you should be able to incorporate appropriate elements of learners' engagement and assessment, which is most, I would say, the most important part of any good online course, including Mooc. The elements of learners' engagement and also the assessment. Because one of the issues about Mooc that has been discussed is about the high attrition rate, the high number of people who enroll and then they just follow the Mooc 10 or 20%, then they will never, they never come back, or they enroll and actually never really enter into get into the course. So how do we design our Mooc in such a way that we can really engage and retain the learners and complete the whole Mooc, the whole course? And then, of course, the bottom line, at the end of the day, whatever we do, we want to create something of high value. That's the key word. If you decide to create your online course, your Mooc, no matter how small is the Mooc, it must offer some great value to the learners. Because once the student enroll in your course, they are willing to invest their time, their energy. So we want to give the value for their time. Not so much of money, because money in terms of they don't fee, because they don't have to pay for Mooc. Mooc should remain free. That's the main difference between Mooc and micro-credential. Both are online, but Mooc should remain free forever. That's from my personal opinion. Yeah. Okay. So there are three segments. First, the creation of Mooc. How do we create Mooc, and what can stand as a Mooc? Because a lot of people are still quite vague, not very clear as how big is the Mooc? Is it the whole course that I'm teaching now? Or can I take some parts or one or two segments and create as a Mooc? So that's I want to clarify first. And I hope those listening here and also on YouTube, if you are still having some confusion after I explain it, please feel free to ask a question. So I want you to leave this session today with a clear understanding of what constitutes a Mooc. Okay. Then, of course, what's inside the Mooc, the elements of good Mooc, the whole Mooc in terms of the design, and what's inside the Mooc. So just like a house, you create an empty house, you build an empty house, but then you want to have something inside the house, the furniture, and things that commonly we have in the house. So that's the elements. Then I will show you some example. The second part, I will show you 2 or 3 or even more examples of all these elements in different courses. Can see the difference. Yeah. All right. So let's go. If you attended my session this morning, this is the same slide, but in the context of Mooc. Okay. So when you want to embark on Mooc or anything in life, yeah, always have a big picture first. I like to see things from the bird's eye view, the so-called the drone view, so to speak. So if you want to do Mooc, you must ask yourself, you must have a clear so-called strategic intent. The start with the end in mind. What is it you want to achieve with your Mooc? If you are doing Mooc in isolation, meaning that your Mooc is just one Mooc and it's not related to other Moocs offered by your institution, then that's fine, no problem. But then you don't have a clear strategic intent as to what you want to achieve as a whole. Preferably and ideally, you want to do your Mooc together, in your school, for example, in your faculty, together with other members of the school, so that you can achieve something meaningful, purposeful, impactful, and have a clear, tangible, impact that you want to achieve at the end. So that's a very important point here. Yeah. And then if you are doing this Mooc agenda as a big agenda for your school, for your university, then maybe we need to have a roadmap. Then decide on, for example, if we have 3 or 4 programs in your school. Yeah, I saw Noli here in in the audience. So like in TI, we have 4 programs. So it's good to see from the school point of view, with all the 4 programs that you have, how do you want to use Mooc? For example, you can use Mooc as a way to promote your program, to make your program more visible, to position your program. There are a lot of things you can achieve with Mooc. So this has to be looked at the top level, what we want to achieve. Visibility, branding, positioning, all this can be achieved using a Mooc. Okay, so then the target groups. Have a clear target groups in mind. You cannot just shoot, in the dark and hoping to shoot and hit any target randomly. Well, maybe you will hit some targets, but it's not the intended target that you really want to hit, because you are shooting in the dark. So you must be very clear as to who are your target groups. And with this in mind, you can, when you design your Mooc, you can align with your target group, you can align with your strategic content, your strategic plan. It's all about aligning and
Salam Prof.
Yes.
Azida. Prof, slide tak nampak, Prof.
Allah
Slide. Prof tak share slide.
Saya tak share slide ke? So nampak apa tadi?
Nampak YouTube channel je.
Allahu Akbar.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kenapa jadi begitu ya? Awak tak habaq awal-awal. Okey, kejap ya. Okey, sekarang nampak tak?
Nampak.
Okey, nampak.
Awak wani tak habaq awal-awal yang mana?
Saya was-was.
Allahu Akbar. Never mind. Tak apa, inilah kadang-kadang ya. Okay, back to my first slide. What makes a good Mooc? Then this is the Mooc challenge that I mentioned just now. Allahu Akbar. Then these are the three objective or outcome that I would expect the participant will get at the end of this presentation. And these are the 3 segments that I want to cover: the creation of Mooc, elements of good Mooc, and walkthrough of Mooc examples. And yes, start with the end in mind, the strategic intent, the big picture, the roadmap, the program, target groups, and maybe, if you want to create Mooc, yeah. Okay, listen to this very carefully, the strategy. If you are teaching course, 14 weeks course, and you have 2 or 3 lecturers sharing the course, so why not, pakat-pakat, we try to get everyone teaching the course to share. Okay, so you take one part, I take one part, you take another part. So in that way, we can create the Mooc very, very fast, and then we can discuss with each other, we can talk to each other, we can plan together. So this will create a very solid, partnership, and we can create a very high quality Mooc, because you are not working alone. Yeah, you don't work, you don't work alone, but you are working together. So I would really encourage this part and parcel of the strategy that I mentioned just now. Okay, don't just walk the journey alone, work together with other people. In that way, you can get the energy from each other. And of course, the readiness. A lot of people are not ready to do Mooc. A lot of people are not ready to do Mooc for many reasons. So today, I want to urge everyone here listening, there are ways we can do Mooc without putting too much burden on us. So for example, if we are working together in a group, if we are part of the bigger agenda. So the readiness is not there because of many reasons. Time, they said that no time to work on Mooc. I don't have the skill. I'm worried about the copyright. So all this string of reasons, I don't want to call it excuses, a string of reasons that we need to address, and there are ways to address. And I'm here together with CDAE, Dr. Azida, and others at CDAE. We are here to lend you a helping hand. So mark this, the words, I am giving my words. We are here to help you to, if you want to do Mooc, talk to us. We will, we will try to give you the best assistance as we can. So with that, the value proposition as well is very important. Remember, the strategic intent. If you decide to do Mooc, don't simply do it because the school asks you to do it. You are being forced to do it, or for whatever reason. You must have a very clear, your Mooc or your bigger Mooc program must have a clear value proposition. What is a compelling value? The key word here is the compelling value. People cannot deny that value. If they spend 4 weeks to go through your Mooc and complete, they can really get something very impactful, something that they can really appreciate because they learn a lot within that short, 4 weeks Mooc. Okay, so that's a starting point, the value. Always think about the value. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are not following what's been happening in the world of online education, Mooc, basically in 2012, that was probably the year where, a New York Times announced or declared the year of Mooc, 2012, the rise of Mooc. So 2012 until now is almost a decade now, because it started much earlier than that. So almost a decade of Mooc. So some people say that Mooc is kind of cooling down. The buzz is not there. But as far as I'm concerned, the Mooc, as far as USM is concerned, we want to support Mooc. And it's not only because I was involved at the early days of Mooc at the national level, and I'm very proud of that for USM, of course, but because I believe in the philosophy of Mooc. I believe in the philosophy of sharing and widening access to education. And we are supporting actually the SDG goal number 4, which is to provide quality inclusive education. We are supporting the blueprint shift number 9, which is globalized online learning. So if you are doing Mooc, if you are part of the people who are doing Mooc, you are basically supporting the UNESCO agenda of learning for all and SDG 4, as well as our national agenda. Okay, so maybe there is not much of it as far as the credit and the weightage for the promotion and so on. Although USM now is, I think, looking already putting some form of recognition there already. But put that aside. If you are thinking about how you can actually share your knowledge to the wider, to the wider audience outside our campus, then that will be, I think, the biggest incentive for us. So as of now, this one is 2020 statistic, I think, we already have 950 universities around the world offering MOOCs, and there's already a so-called Mooc-based degree, 67 Mooc-based degree, and 16,000 plus Mooc courses. Mooc, yeah, Mooc courses. Actually, Mooc, so C is already courses there in Mooc. So where are we? Look at ourselves now. Look at our university institution now. Where are we in this statistic? Well, we have something there. We have at least, around 30 30 something or 40 something. Yeah, forgot the figures already. Well, around 50, I would say, MOOCs already on our USM MOOC platform. And hopefully with this MOOC challenge 2021, if all of you participate, then we will have more. And USM will be not only advocating and championing micro-credential, but we are also advocating MOOC at national level, university level, national level, and also supporting the SDG 4 in UNESCO, agenda. So come on, everyone. Let's support USM. Let's support the university. Let's support the ministry. Let's support our country and be the champion of online education. So in terms of platform, these are the well-known platform: Coursera, edX, Open Learning. We are using Open Learning as our MOOC platform as well as for our micro-credential. Well, again, I want to make it clear that I'm not the official ambassador of Open Learning. No personal interest here, but we simply use Open Learning because we are so used of Open Learning since the early days of MOOC Malaysia. And basically, we don't want to, put our time to create platform. So we use whatever good platform is already available for all intent and purpose. Is good enough for our MOOC, good enough for our micro-credential. So 2014, we launched our MOOC, Malaysia MOOC, and these are the original 4 courses. But unfortunately, for some reason, our national MOOC now is not in the current, in the original form. Is kind of slightly disbanded, but that's a different story. Now this our platform, USM MOOC. I'm surprised from time to time that our USM people, some of them have never seen our MOOC platform. Yeah, but I hope this will change in the future. So in the second part, I will be sharing I will go to the platform, to our MOOC platform, and I'll be sharing a few courses, a few MOOCs. This one by Dr. Low Hui Min. This is the first, she got the first place. This MOOC got the first place in 2020 MOOC challenge, yeah. And masalah bahasa dan komunikasi. So if you have time, please explore this one. And Dr. Low also has another one, autism spectrum disorder. Although this one did not win any prize, but I guess this one is an example of a simple MOOC for all intent and purposes. To me, it delivers the outcome. And this one I am very proud. I think I saw Puan Nazira here in the audience, Penyusuan Susu Ibu. And as of now, just now I checked, about 13,000 plus, 13,000 lebih, and students enroll. And I think most of them, or almost all of them, are nurses around the country. And they have the micro-credential version of this program, which hopefully we can roll out on our micro-credential platform in 1 or 2 months' time after the QC is done. And hopefully we can sell it to the 100,000 nurses out there for their CPD point. So things are moving very nicely as far as MOOC is concerned, and also micro-credential is concerned. This is very, very exciting personally, very, very exciting for me at least, but I want you all to feel excited as well and be part of this initiative. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is good MOOC? So before we answer that question directly, just remember this. This is the guiding principles when we design any online course, be it MOOC, be it micro-credential, and actually we can apply the same principles, adopt and adapt into our face-to-face course. So if you learn how to do MOOC, if you learn how to do micro-credential or online course, actually you get to learn a lot of things which you can bring into your face-to-face. So it will enrich, it will add value to your face-to-face. So that's basically what I'm trying to say here. You have every reason to just embark on MOOC and micro-credential because you will appreciate. Trust me. Take my words here. After you have completed your MOOC, you will realize that you have learned a lot of things, a lot of new skill, you know, a lot of different kind of learning activities, assessment that you can now adopt into and adapt into your face-to-face. Okay, so the bottom line is, the crux of the matter is about learning. It's all about learning. Okay, so if you want to do MOOC, if you want to be great teachers, first we have to understand learning. Read as much as you can about learning, get as many books as you can, read as many articles as you can, understand the basic learning theory, the basic adult learning principles. So if you want to embark on MOOC, if you are not yet doing that, you need to have a change of mindset. You need to change your thinking. You know, all this while, we are so focused on content, creating content. But I think to design good online course, content is important, but we need to move away from that kind of mindset into more learning centric. As long as we address learning and we want to make sure that the students learn, and not only that, learning with good learning experience, memorable and unforgettable learning experience, something that they want more, you know, they want to come back for more, they want to stay within the course, they will, you know, that's where the retention is, because we have designed it in such a way that they will appreciate, you know, they will appreciate and they feel that they learn something here. So learn as much as possible about learning. Do not think that if you have been teaching for 20 years, 30 years, even, you know, we are nearly into retirement, that we know everything about learning. I don't think so. I feel like myself, I still as much more that I need to learn about learning. So these are my favorite books, especially on the right here. And I always always promote this book, How Learning Works, 7 Research-Based Principles for Smart Teaching. The book is not about online teaching or about MOOC, but it's all about the philosophy, the theory, the principles of how learning works, which we can apply when we design our MOOC, when we design our online course. The same also for face-to-face, we can use the same principle. And these are evidence-based, research-based principles. 7 research-based principles. So you can't go wrong. If you design your course around this principle, you can't go wrong. Okay, because it's already evidence-based. What else? Okay. Now, ini last minute punya kerja jadi macam ni. Okay. Crafting your MOOC. So how do I create a MOOC? So let's imagine, yeah. Let's imagine that the MOOC can come from your current academic course that you are teaching. Okay. Just excuse me for 10 seconds. All right. If you want to create a MOOC, it can be based on the current academic course, or it can be totally different course, not related to any academic course, okay? So let's say we are looking at the academic course that we are teaching now. So how do we turn this into a MOOC? So imagine one course, 14 weeks. Imagine this is in a box, okay? So what we can do here, no, I'm talking about a program here. In the box, the big box on the left is the program, your 4-year program. And then remember the strategic intent, the strategic planning, the big picture. So at the school level or at the department or faculty level, you must decide, okay, I'm giving TI example, probably, food tech. So what would be your, what MOOC you want to create from this program? What about the PBC, the environment, and so on? Okay. So once you are clear, what you can do, you can take, let's say, a few courses, okay, or just take one course from each program, 14 weeks, and try to see how you can divide it into parts, and each part can stand alone. So this is how to divide is, try to divide it based on thematic, based on tema tertentu yang can stand alone as one full smaller course, mini course, so to speak, if you wish, yeah, mini course from the big course. So a Mooc is always a subset of a bigger course. You don't normally offer the Mooc for a complete 14 weeks course, except in the early days for TITAS and so on, yeah. But usually you take only one part. But which part that you want to take, whichever part that you want to take, make sure that it is standalone. It has, a certain theme, a certain thema that you want to, that can be identified with that particular Mooc. Okay, so that's what I put here. Theme 1, we have topic 1, topic 2, for example. So from one course, maybe it can be based on topic. So topic 1, topic 2, that can be one Mooc. Topic 3, topic 4, topic 5, you can group together, become one Mooc. Or even just one topic if it's too big. If the one topic is very big, it can stand alone as one Mooc. That's how you break it down into how do I create my Mooc from the whole 14 weeks course. Because this part, always there's some confusion there. So you can just take one big topic from the 14 weeks course, create a Mooc, or you can combine 2 or 3 small topics. As long as they are related to each other, they can form a theme. Then you can create a Mooc. Then you can offer as a certificate course, upskilling and reskilling, and offer it for free. And if you strike gold, if you're lucky, you can strike gold. It means that your course suddenly get 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, just like our penyusuan susu ibu now have 13,000 students enrolling in that course. That is where the massive comes in. The M in Mooc is massive, means you have a few thousand of students, enrolling in your course. Whether they really follow the course, whether they complete the whole course, the whole Mooc, that's a different question. Okay, right now. So if you look at it from different perspective, one course complete 14 weeks. On our e-learn, for example, you can divide the course by, you can structure the course by week or by topic. So when you look at this structure, you can actually kind of divide into several parts, the 14 weeks course into several parts. So for example, in this case, there are 4 parts. So you can take 1 or 2 from there, and you can offer as a Mooc, as an online course. What's the difference between Mooc and micro-credential? They are more or less the same, but for micro-credential, you go further. From the course level, you can break it down into several smaller modules, or several smaller units. So you go even, even smaller or even further. That's basically more or less the difference between Mooc and micro-credential. And Mooc, of course, we want to offer for free, mainly as I would say as a teaser. So this is the strategy that I want to share with all of you. I would probably advise people now. Let's start with planning and designing for micro-credential, meaning that you identify the program, then the course, then you modularize the course. And let's say in this example, you have, let's say you want to convert the course into, let's say, 6 module, okay, into 6 module. Let's say this is the smallest unit for your course, for your module, okay, or you can go even further. So then once you have developed the course, developed the micro-credential, you can take, for example, topic 1 here and offer it for free as Mooc. And this is where you can use topic 1 here, or the Mooc, to entice people as a promotion for the rest of the modules in your micro-credential. So you start with micro-credential, then take one module from the several modules in your micro-credential and offer it as Mooc. And then from there, if the Mooc has a very high quality, people will, would want to take the rest of the modules in the micro-credential, but the rest of the module they have to pay. So here we do micro-credential and we do Mooc at the same time. Can you see the strategy? Start with Mooc, start with micro-credential. Then after you have designed your micro-credential, then you have 6 modules, for example. Take one of the module and offer it free as Mooc. And this will serve as a teaser or as a tester for other modules in your micro-credential. So now you have both. One free Mooc, then 5 more modules as a paid micro-credential module. So we can do 2 things, at a time, at one time. Basically, doing micro-credential and Mooc at the same time. Okay. Now, so when you structure your course into a Mooc, you can take one topic and make it as a Mooc. So some people would ask, how big or how small should be the Mooc? How big or how small should the Mooc be? So the answer to that is, think of some criteria here. Okay. First, your Mooc should be standalone, meaning that it can stand as a mini course, if you like, as a mini course from a subset of course from the bigger course. Think of it that way. Standalone, freestanding, and then the Mooc could be like 1 week to 4 weeks, or maybe sometime up to 8 weeks to complete. So in terms of content, in terms of the learning outcome, in terms of the skill and knowledge that the students will get from the Mooc, it will be substantive. Yes, substantive, meaning that solid enough for them to spend 14 lessons in this case. Yeah, 14 lessons, 2 hours, 53 minutes. This is only 3 hours. And this could also stand as a Mooc if you like. It doesn't have to be much longer than that. But typically the Mooc, between 4 weeks to 8 weeks, bigger. But you can also have as small as 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours Mooc as well. Okay, as you will see in the example later, some Mooc is like a few hours only. But it's substantive, meaning that once I completed this Mooc, I feel I get something substantial here. Okay. Then high value. Remember about the value. So whatever you do, whether your Mooc is small or big, the value is the one that's matter. Okay. So what is the value that you want to get? You want to give your learner from your Mooc. Always think about this. Very important. And very focused. When you can teach something and very focused to that particular thing. Concept, mechanism, skill, very, very, very focused. And it runs between 4 to 8 weeks, typically, but it can be shorter or it can be slightly longer. But I'm talking about the typical kind of duration of the Mooc. Now, remember about the value proposition. Again, I repeat this point. Whatever you do, whether you take one topic, 2 topics, or the whole one learning outcome can become a Mooc. But the bottom line is, what is your value proposition? It must be compelling enough to attract people to take that Mooc. So, what are the elements of good Mooc? Remember, I hope when I go through this slide, I hope you can register in your mind, and then when we look at some examples later, you can relate. Yeah, this course has this element, this course has this element, this course has this elements. Okay, but on your part, you want to try to incorporate these elements as much as possible in your Mooc, for your Mooc to stand out and to have that, what you call this value. Okay. So the roadmap. So the Mooc can run from 4 weeks to 8 weeks. So always good to show the big picture again for your course, for your Mooc. Yeah. So for example here, if you see this course roadmap. There are 4 topics here, and in each topic there are several lessons there. And what are the lessons? And this even before the students, this can be on the first page, on the so-called landing page of your Mooc, even before the student enroll in your course. But you can have the same one also on the first page on your home page when the students log in into your course. The idea is this: you want the students to get a big, the big picture of what are they going to learn in the 4 weeks or 8 weeks of your Mooc. They can see already their, so they can estimate the time, and they can also kind of plan for their own commitment, the time commitment, everything. So I would expect any good Mooc would have, especially if your Mooc is big, to have this kind of roadmap, yeah, to give guidance to the learner. All right. Another example of this is a simpler one in my own course. Of course, there is also my own course here. I'm sharing here. This is my another course which I'm teaching this semester, or not this semester, last semester. Today is the new semester, right? So it was last semester. So I have 8 major topics, and using this simple diagram here, the student can see easily what are the topics that I will cover in the course. But it is actually a very big course. I'm going to actually take out some of this and make it into smaller module. Another example of roadmap, very well done. This is from University of Leeds, the Mooc offered by University of Leeds. You can go to Future Learn, the platform Future Learn, and you can find and search for this course, Discovering Science Writing, because this is free. This is Mooc, Discovering Science and Science Writing. I would, to all the listeners here, please encourage your postgraduate student, or even your undergraduate students, especially the final year student who is going to write a thesis. Ask them to take this Mooc, because it is about, the basic science writing. So you see here, week 1, week 2. So this is a 2 weeks course, 2-week Mooc. So what will happen in week 1, week 2, then activity 1 in week 1, yeah, activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, and so on. Details of the student can see at a glance what are the things they are going through this Mooc when they go through this Mooc. Then the rest of the elements of good Mooc, we are looking at the whole learning design. Okay, whether you want to call it instructional design or learning design, I don't want to dwell on that, but I prefer to use the word learning design, because remember, it's all about learning. Yeah, it's all about learning. It's not about the tools. It's not about the video. It's not about the other things. The bottom line is always learning. Does learning happens or not? And we want to make it happen in such a way that the students would stay in the course until the end, and they really enjoy and they really get something useful. So the learning design, basically, when you have decided, let's say, one topic from 6 topics from the 14 weeks course, you want to do it as a Mooc. So as a Mooc, it is still considered a standalone course. It's only shorter, yeah, and therefore it has all the elements of a course, a miniature course, so to speak. So you have the overview, which that's where you give the introduction, the description about the course, the synopsis, the learning outcomes, and some other essential information that they are relevant and essential for the students to know. Okay, And this is where also where you get the students to introduce themselves, you introduce yourself, and that is where we create a so-called connection. The first thing that we need to have in the online course is to establish that connection, so that you can, because you are going to have a community in your online course. Therefore, the connection between people there in the community is utmost important. Then, of course, come the content. The content can be, your short lecture in the form of video, audio, can be the notes in the form of PDF, the ebook, and many other formats of content. Okay, but the Mooc that would really engage people, I think, probably would be the learning activities. But again, I can argue also, people can argue also on that point. Some people will take a Mooc just to learn the content. They just want to watch the video one after another, and that's it. And sometimes I do that because I just want to do it quickly. I just want to learn something and I don't care. Sometimes I skip the learning activities as well. Yeah. But learning activities are really where you can get the students really get deeper into the content. So this is where we can design, when we have content, the key or the key point here is this. Every content, every piece of content that you have in your Mooc, don't, that content is not an island by itself. You must try to create activities around the content or based on the content. So when you ask the student to watch the video, try to get them to do something on the video after they watch the video, or even before they watch the video even. So this is where the designing of the learning activities in the form of engaging students with the content, engaging students in the group work, problem solving, everything. So these are what we call collectively as learning activities in our Mooc online course. And of course, some form of assessment and learning resources. But one thing that I want to stress here, Mooc by nature, when we design Mooc, the delivery is more for asynchronous rather than synchronous. And in fact, almost, I would say, no synchronous session. Although preferably, if you want your Mooc to really be meaningful to the student, you might want to have at least like once a week kind of synchronous session, 1 hour. But by and large, Mooc is designed for asynchronous learning. And therefore, your content, your learning activities, your assessment should be designed to cater for that asynchronous mode of Mooc. So that is one main point that I want to make here. Okay. So what are other elements of good online course? Well, in terms of learning design, anyone who like to be good when teaching online, if you are not doing it now, but there is something for the future. I mean, the future is basically now. You want to learn this model, community of inquiry model. Anyone who is teaching online or teaching online as part of the blended learning, if not fully online, later on maybe we're going to have more of blended learning after the pandemic. So the online part, when you design it, your online course must have the 3 main elements: social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. Social presence, we are looking at how we can make the learners, the community of learners in your course, to be a real community, talking to each other, knowing each other, getting to know each other, interact with each other, working together collaboratively in groups, and so on. So the engagement part, the social part of learning, because learning by nature is social. So that is what we call social presence. Your visibility, your virtual visibility to the students, also asynchronously or synchronously. These are all part of the social presence, which address also partly on the engagement, student engagement in the course, and therefore the retention as well. Okay, so the cognitive presence is basically the main thing when in our course, to make sure that the students really aligned to the learning outcome in terms of the cognitive aspect, ability to do this, ability to do that. So all this, relate to the cognitive presence or cognitive engagement. So how do we do that? By ensuring that when we design the content, the students should engage with the content, or any learning activities that we design is meant for the engagement. Engagement, there are three engagement: behavioral engagement, cognitive engagement, and also behavioral, cognitive, and the other one is what? Yeah, but you want to have all these three elements of engagement as part of that cognitive presence. And then the third one is teaching presence. Teaching presence is one of the thing about teaching presence is facilitation. How do we facilitate online learners? How do we play our role as online facilitators? This is a big thing actually on facilitation, and I'm going to show and share with you 2 courses on this aspect. And if you want to dive in further, I would advise you to take those books to learn more about facilitation. Okay, so when we are talking about good Mooc, we are talking about elements of good online course. These are the elements of social presence, the elements of cognitive presence, and the elements of teaching presence must have, you must have it together, so that you have the so-called educational experience from that online course. But of course, detail, I would not elaborate in this course, but if you want to have the element of social presence, what are the things that you need to do? What about the cognitive presence and so on? Each one of these, social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence, can be a Mooc by itself. Yeah, can be a Mooc by itself. But I would advise you to start looking into this if you are serious to be a competent online course instructor, as well as to design the good elements in your Mooc, in your course. Another model that you might want to explore if you want to incorporate good elements in your Mooc, or to have a good Mooc or good online course, is this Gilly Salmon's 5-stage model. So you can see here: access and motivation, securing access to and familiarity with platform and tools. So familiarity with platform and tools. So meaning that the first time the student come into our course, on the homepage, you have some explanation as how to navigate the course, where you can find this information, That is part of a so-called access. What about the motivation aspect? There's a big thing about motivation. What do you do? What do you have in your Mooc that would really motivate students to learn, and hopefully intrinsically motivated rather than extrinsically motivated? But what about the online socialization? So I mentioned about social presence just now. It's all about the community of learners, how we make the community very vibrant, very always willing to help each other, working together, helping each other. Information exchange, peer sharing of learning resources, knowledge construction, facilitating process. This is where the teaching presence in the community of inquiry model is about facilitation part. Okay, and development, we are talking about the whole ecosystem in that Mooc in terms of support and other things. So feel free to explore further on this community of inquiry, community of inquiry, and also Gilly Salmon's 5-stage model. This is all about the design part. You are looking at the big picture of when you design your Mooc. And by extension, your micro-credential as well. The same principle. If you do Mooc, you do micro-credential, they are, the same, using the same principles. And when we go with more detail into the design part, well, there are many instructional model you can use. This one is called backward design model by John McTighe and Wiggins, very popular. I have bought the books recently, 3 books from Amazon, cost me nearly 500 ringgit to get the books to learn more about this backward design. But if you learn this model, this is basically OBE, ladies and gentlemen, my friends. Backward design model is really the OBE thing. So if you really go into this and use this to design your Mooc, basically you serve a lot of things here. Okay, so okay, now getting into the course. Now I have signed in from the landing page, come in to the course on the home page. So just the home page is like your home, your house. When the visitor come, what would they see on, you know, after they enter the fence, they step into your house? Is it very welcoming, the house? So this is where a warm welcome is very important here, because that would determine whether, you know, they would feel at home or not, or they would want to spend the rest of 4 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever, in the course. So some form of, this one example, a real example from one Mooc. Hello and welcome to the course. As you probably know, being an educator is great. We are particularly lucky because, okay, and you are here because you want to rethink your teaching. Hopefully, you are here because you want to become such an inspiring educator that you will inspire other educators to rethink their own teaching practice. Later on, I will show you which course I take this from, but this is one example of the first page. You're on your home page, the welcome, yeah, the welcome, the greetings to your student. And remember, these students are probably not students, most likely they are not students taking your course. They can be from anywhere in the world, you know. So if they read a very welcoming message, so they feel very welcome and very warm. So let's look at another example, and this is from yours truthfully, from me, from my own course. So I take the time to do the graphic, even say hello. I could, easily put this in the form of normal text, but I make it into a graphic just to spice up, to make it looks interesting. Okay, it doesn't add value that much, but my intention is to give a positive feeling, yeah, to the learners when they come into my course. A warm welcome. Okay, I will answer some of this question. What app do I use? Well, no secret anymore. Canva. Canva. Okay, no secret anymore. Just Canva. Okay. So what more importantly is the message. Hello there. I'm Karim. Nice to meet you here. The fact that you have landed on this page means you are ready to embark on a new journey with me. So I want the students to feel, to have the impression that this is a journey. Welcome aboard, and I want to take you, I want to hold your hand, taking you through this beautiful journey with me. I want you to learn, and we will learn together, co-learn, and I want you to enjoy, and I want you to get to learn something at the end of the day. So let's go. So that kind of message that we want to deliver to our learners to make them feel welcome. Okay, say hello. Then we ask them to, talk, to greet, to talk to fellow student in the course, and you can give other instruction. Remember, just now I mentioned about just like any other course, you want to give some relevant information and so on. And remember to at least spice up your page with minimum graphic, not so much, but just to spice up a relevant graphic, that otherwise it will be just text after text after text. Then I don't know if I like to see some graphics. That's my personal preference. Then the next thing that I think important when you design your online course or your Mooc or your micro-credential is first to communicate your expectation clearly. And you want us, the student, or us, your students, your learners in your Mooc, also to communicate their expectation, what exactly you want to learn. and get them, get the feedback from them as to whatever that you are doing is, aligned to their or meeting their needs and so on. So communication, communication, communication. So this has to be laid out very clearly, spelled out very clearly in your, in your homepage and also in your other pages as well. So communicate your expectation clearly, and then of course come the content and the delivery. Okay, and a lot of people they are hesitant to do Mooc because they are thinking too much about, I have to get content in the form of suitable for my Mooc. Again, start small. The key or the secret is, let's start small. Don't sometimes it's good to think small but deliver big, in a big way. So think small but create an impactful impact from your course that can benefit a lot of people. So when it comes to content, try to have the keyword here is variety. Yeah, kepelbagaian, variety, just like rempah ratus. That's the beauty of spices. You can mix and mash and you can get a different flavor. So no two Moocs are the same. You cannot find two Moocs, that have the same flavor, because it depends on the chef. You can have the same content. I mean, two Moocs can have the video, can have the PowerPoint, can have the image, infographic, can have the document, audio, and so on and so forth. More or less the same types of content, but they taste differently. The flavor is different, just like curry, how the sequence you put the onion, how long you simmer the curry, the heat, the temperature. No two curries are the same. No two Moocs are the same. It's all about your creativity on how you create and put together the content in your course. But keep it simple, my friend. Keep it simple. Keep it short. Keep it light. Okay. Remember, this is online, and the attention span is very short. So you don't want to have a very long video, for example, because it's just not people would not pay or watch the whole video. My video on YouTube, some 2 hours, some 1 hour, some like half an hour. But when I look at the analytics, on average, daripada dulu sampai sekarang, on average tak pernah lebih daripada 3 minit. On average, even the 2 hours video, I don't know what 2 hours, but this is the average of all the video I have. It's on average 3 minutes. So that 3 minutes is the sweet spot. Okay, 3 minutes for video is the sweet spot, just like movie trailer. Even movie trailer nowadays also 2 minutes, I find it quite long. Okay, so keep it simple, keep it short, keep it light. Yeah. Okay. Now, another element of good Mooc, establish your virtual presence. But I must confess here, because most of the time I walk my talk, but sometimes when come to this establish your virtual presence, sometimes I'm also guilty of that. I try to do as much as I can, but sometimes I just disappear. But I'm telling you, I'm sharing with you what should be, if you really want, although it's this asynchronous, yeah, but even in the asynchronous, people can see you chip in the discussion or intervene, do some form of intervention, and just say hello, just, people want to see you, although it's asynchronous, they want to see some of your so-called virtual presence there. As much as you can, good Mooc would have this element, and this is where I myself fail. I fail. I think I fail in this regards. Okay, right? So so this is one example. Yeah, if you can see this in the group discussion here, this is in one Mooc which I joined as a student. So initially, I try to be very active student, yeah, and this is where how you can see the interaction and the engagement can happen. This course is all about facilitation actually. So the course instructor is actually very good actually in facilitating. So I think he kind of passed, meaning that he really get the students to have discussion, engagement, doing things together. So this is how it looks like on open learning. This is how the student interaction engagement can happen asynchronously, not synchronous, yeah. And this is another example of my so-called virtual present, as simple as say, yes, good reading, you want to give that instant gratification to the student for sharing good stuff, good resource in the course, okay? So another element of good MOOC or any good online course, remember the Gilly-Salmon 5-stage model just now mentioned about motivation. This is actually critically important and vital to have in our course. Retention is about how you want to get the students to be motivated to carry on and to go through the course, the MOOC until the end. So what factors motivate them to learn? So from this book, you want to learn more about this book, so basically you want to pay attention to larger engagement and motivation. This is another book here, Student Engagement Techniques, Motivation and Active Learning. So when you design your content and your learning activities, this is where the active learning can happen. And you need another element, which is motivation. What motivates them to work together in the groups and so on, and to perform those activities. So motivation and active learning actually are intertwined. You cannot separate them. You must have both of them as part of your learning design in your MOOC. If you have both, then you will have a good MOOC. Okay. So one of the model of motivation, so-called model of student motivation, is one of the more popular one is ARCS model, developed by John Keller. So basically highlight the importance of attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction in stimulating learners and maintaining their focus during learning activities. So here, check out this article, which this is actually the original article written by John Keller, explaining the details of ARCS model. So feel free to explore further and apply and incorporate those model in your learning design for your MOOC and micro-credential as well, or maybe your course on e-learn as well. All these are applicable for your course on e-learn as well. Just give me 10 seconds. Okay, pagi tadi aku cakap 1 jam, yang ni suara nak hilang lah. Minta maaf. Okay. Tarik nafas sekejap. Alright, now another element of good MOOC, yeah, create a supportive online course community. Remember, we have potentially in your MOOC thousands of students from all over the world, coming from different cultures, different background, different academic levels, but they will come together and form a community. A community is a good community if it's a cohesive community that really, enjoy each other's company, can really work together. So it's the onus is actually on us as the course designer, as the MOOC designer, to create such a vibrant community. Although it's asynchronous, but you can design those learning activities and the content as well in such a manner to get that vibrant community to be to be formed. Okay, so create a supportive online course community. Question is how do you effectively connect with students, form relationship, and be present in their life? on an online platform. Okay, so community is such a valuable commodity that is often overlooked. Students want to know their facilitator will support them, be active in their course. Again, this is where I am guilty, and create a sense of belonging. Sense of belonging. This is my home. This is my Mooc. This is my course. These are my friends. Okay, so instructor-student relationships lie at the heart of humanizing serving. That's part. Humanizing online learning means they want to see human being. They want to see their instructor. They want to see their friend. They want to hear their voice. So that's why your video, even though it's short, if you show your face and your picture as well, that really bring the human face into the course and the humanizing part of your online course. So don't be shy, okay? So we must never underestimate the impact of authentically relating to our online students. So again, what are some overarching principles of building community? Remember, it's all about creating community. If we successful in creating a community of learners in our course, in our Mooc, then your Mooc will have high retention rate of the students, and they will really enjoy, and you will get a very positive feedback from your students. So first, make sure you have a presence. This means students see tangible evidence that you are active and engaged in their course. Second, show empathy. Empathy, empathy, empathy. Well, let's just remind myself, that's why I mentioned it 3 times, that you have a sense of for when students need extra support due to struggles in their life and you actively respond. You don't know who are they. They are everywhere. They come from different cultures, different background, different socio-economic background. So we expect them to do this, to do that, deliver in time, and so on. When they exceed the deadline, then they say, okay, that's it. We close the door. I won't entertain you anymore. Where is the empathy? Okay, so yeah. So have a personal awareness of your students. Do things in and out of your class to understand your student on personal level as much as you can. But of course, if you're talking about thousands of students, how do you treat everyone and show empathy to them? Of course, you cannot deal with every single one, but as and when the need rises, yeah. So helping students connect socially and emotionally. Remember the social presence just now, yeah, will result in increased engagement, persistent learning, and success. Indeed, is one of the best things we can do as online instructors to help students overcome the barriers that exist due to the distance inherent to online classes. So another part is creating that conducive environment in our Mooc. Remember, our Mooc is mostly asynchronous. So how do we now, the community that we have in such, how do we create that so-called climate? Because climate is very important. Why do student development and course climate matter for student learning? This is principle number 5 in this book. So this is where we leverage on community and groups. We can create groups in our course, and this group can become a small family on its own, and each group will have the group leader, the family leader, the family head, and they can do things within that group. And we, as the instructor of the Mooc instructor, should be present in all the groups, and we will play the so-called facilitator role, or the busybody role as well sometimes, to kind of always spark the discussion, invoke thinking, get them to moving, and so on. So as much as we can. Again, the challenge would be if you have thousands of students and probably many groups in your Mooc, how do you manage that? It's not easy. That's why those people who are really successful in managing their Mooc, I would salute them, because it really requires a lot of commitment there. We know the secrets, we know what we need to do, but we simply don't do it because of sometimes time and commitment and other things. But Having said that, even without much, of our presence, we can actually leverage on the peer interaction, social interaction among them, and let the community be so-called a self-sustaining committee, self-sustaining committee, leveraging on the members of the community to support each other. Okay, so yeah, this example of how this thing. And what about content? When it comes to content, try to chunk your lesson in, deliver that in a bite-sized, small chunk. For example, you see in this course, these are very basically video-based. Each video is very short, 4 minutes, 1 minute, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes I have up to 15 minutes as well. But I would say the shorter, the better. And this is how to create the micro content. Basically, you can go through the slides. How to chunk your content and make it as granular as possible. The video is one of the main format of content for, especially if you give a short lecture. But when you create a video, you must make it in such a way that you create one or two activities based on that video. You don't want the video to be an island by itself or in isolation. Okay, you want the video to give content, but at the same time you want to engage them with the content through asking them to do the quizzes based on the video, or asking them to come up with questions based on the video. So as far as video is concerned, these are some of the things. Make it short, make it more engaging. It doesn't have to be studio-based recording. You can actually create good video on your laptop with a webcam and with a good lighting. You can see my webcam now. I have 2 light shining on my face, so I have a lot of nur cahaya, nur hidayah on my face, and that should be good enough. Then what's more important is the type of content that you deliver in that video is short and sweet, concise, and serve the purpose of the lesson. And I forgot to copy the link to some of this. I'll make sure to give you some of the links to this. This one I want to give you the link. Some of you probably already have it. The DIY instructional video. So if you want to create video content, instructional video for your Mooc, and if you're new to video, you can watch my module here, or you can watch my YouTube channel. I have a lot of video related to this. Go to my friend's YouTube channel, Chua Kiman. I'm promoting your YouTube channel now, Kiman. You just go YouTube and search Chua K-E-E Man. He has a wonderful, fantastic video channel there, and the way he teach in his video is, very, very cool, very slumber. You will like his video, your channel. Okay, so making a video, instructional video, is not a rocket science. It's so easy nowadays to do it. Okay, but when you have a video is not an island by itself. You must create activities around that video. As an example that you see, this from a snapshot from my Mooc. Yeah, so put some icon there so that the student, every time the students see this icon, they know that this is the activity. These are learning activities. Remember, create learning activities around your content, around, in this case, the video. Okay, so in this video, and online, give a proper instruction, very clear instruction. So this is the instruction part, and tell the student exactly how long is the video. And better still, tell them exactly how long they need to complete the whole activity after watching the video, maybe answering the questions or do a summary. So just give estimate like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever, so that they get a clear idea and plan properly when they want to do it. Okay, so oops, on the slide here, I said use synchronous and asynchronous learning activities. If you're doing online course as part of your teaching this semester or last semester during the pandemic, yes, the synchronous one, we need to have some synchronous. although less, not that much. But for Mooc, almost most Mooc are asynchronous. But if you really want to have synchronous, maybe you can plan to have, like, say, 1 hour synchronous session every month or every week or every 2 weeks. But usually the rest, by and large, it is asynchronous. Yeah, asynchronous. And therefore, when we design for the asynchronous, the learning activities are very important, and you can design a range of activities for small group and individual as well. Get them busy, get them to work alone as well as in groups. And those activities, of course, must be aligned with the learning outcome. And also, by doing the activities, they can also get the content and learn the content of your MOOC. Because your video, where you are really teaching, you only have a short video and you just want to put only the essential thing in your video. So you won't be able to so-called cover everything using your video. And therefore, the learning activities would do that. Yeah, let them uncover the content by doing the learning activities in a small group or individual. So, example again from a snapshot from my MOOC. So as you can see here on the left hand side are the menu, and these are the content. So the content are the text. I have graphic, and the graphic also I create in this case in the form of cartoons here, which I created using an app in my iPad. So this original cartoon, yeah, original cartoon, original dialogue, original everything, and therefore you see my name down there. Okay, and then the activity. Then here is a good example. I say, okay, group activity. So the student know that they have to work in the group that they have already created. And estimate time, 10 minutes. Title of the activity and the description of the activity, what they need to do. In this case, a simple summarization, summarize, and they will post below there. Okay, so, and I would say that good MOOC will have a range of activity that covers the lots learning lower order thinking, as simple as a quiz or some HOTS activity. And I will give you one module where you can choose some example of lots activities and HOTS activities, okay, shortly. Then, okay, principle number 4, how do students develop mastery? So mastery meaning that the student will really go deep into your content and really acquire the skill, acquire the knowledge that you want them to acquire from your MOOC. So basically, you want to engage them, get them to interact with their peers, with their friends, fellow learners, and action. So you can design learning activities at various levels of cognitive domain at Bloom taxonomy, the lots and the HOTS. And the interaction is very important. That's where the engagement and the social interaction, the social presence as part of that community inquiry. And design appropriate learning activities that would allow the students to do and create tangible output. Do, try not, do. Students are learning is something that the students do, not we do for them. That's very important thing key thing that we must remember, okay, as part of the learning design for our MOOC and when we design our learning activities as well. Some of the HOTS activities like challenge-based learning, problem-based learning, scenario-based learning, okay. So this example from this platform, Sophia. Sophia actually is not a very, a lot of people when I ask, do you know, give example of MOOC platform, hardly they will come up with Sophia. Most of the time, Coursera, edX, Open Learning, Canvas, to some extent, Udacity, iVersity, yeah, FutureLearn, USM MOOC, but hardly Sophia. But I find that MOOC on Sophia are very well designed, and they are not designed to give content directly. They are designed around learning activities. This is a really constructivist approach, I think, fully constructivist approach of learning. And they design it using a challenge-based learning. So as you can see on the screen here, okay, so the student have to go through a series of challenges. And finally, when they have completed the challenges or the challenges in that particular unit, they will get whatever learning outcome that they're supposed to get. They will learn whatever content they're supposed to get, the concept, the skill, whatever. So you can see here, challenge 1, challenge 2. This is actually a course on statistics. Very interesting, but I think very difficult to design, but very powerful. To me, I'm dreaming of apa ni, nak buat course a Mooc like this, or my even micro-credential also using a challenge-based learning. It's difficult, I think, but really very challenging, time-consuming to come up with something like this. But if you really want to have a unique, one of its kind Mooc that is really very outstanding, rather than just giving content after content after content. So now you are giving challenge after challenge after challenge. But for all we know, maybe nobody want to take the Mooc because they don't like to be challenged. Yeah. Some just want to take, I just want to watch the video and that's it. I want to learn something. I'm so lazy to take the challenge. Yeah. Okay. Right. Now, promoting engagement. So I think I need to finish this now. People, yeah, just look at some of the elements of engagement here. I will leave the PowerPoint this for you to go through some elements of engagement. There are a lot of things you can do. Okay, debate, engagement with the content. Okay, feedback. Yes, feedback is important. That's what close the loop. Yeah, assessment and feedback would close the loop, because with the feedback, we want to know whether students are really learn and whether we are doing things short sendiri, or we need to change the way we do things based on the feedback. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, those are some of the elements that you would want in your Mooc. If you have all those put together seamlessly with the content, the learning activities, and I didn't touch on more on the visual design aspect, yeah, which is also equally important. But we can see some examples later on. But if you have this put together, you will have great Mooc. You will have great Mooc. So if you really want to learn more, you will not get everything from my session today. So I would now pointing you to some of the Mooc that you should really try to take. So one is this: design a world-class course, yeah, on open learning. I took this course. I did not complete the course, but good enough for me to to know a little bit here and there what makes a world-class course, and which I'm sharing with you now. Already, what I learned from this course, I'm sharing with you now. But there are more, okay? So please take this course, especially for those Mooc challenge participants, and for everyone, of course. Okay. Another one, we talk about, remember I mentioned about teaching present, if you still remember. One aspect of teaching presence, ada banyak aspek lah about teaching presence ni dalam community of inquiry. One of the aspect of teaching present is facilitation. And do you know that kita sebagai pensyarah, we as lecturers, we think we know how to become good learning facilitator, but actually there's so much more to learn. When I took this course, although I didn't finish this course, but I can see how the instructor actually really made a point to facilitate the learning for their learners in the course. So I think I got some good points from when I joined this course. So ladies and gentlemen, take this course. You will learn a lot more things in a very short time. And you can apply this in your Mooc, in your online course, in your online session, and in your face-to-face as well. Yeah, free, yeah, free. And of course, not to forget, I have also a course, my Mooc, Engaging Online Learners. I think also very comprehensive, whatever covered in the previous course. Yeah, whatever covered in the previous course, perhaps also here in this course. So take this course, ladies and gentlemen, that will add on to the statistic of my course. Okay, and you can see now, now we are looking at Mooc in USM Mooc, yeah, my course. So the chili, the features, you have the banner up there. So you have the logo. So remember about positioning, making your program, your school, your university visible. So this is where you sell, you know, your branding, Apex USM, and then the logo. And you have this, if you have the logo for your school, for your program, you can have it here. Positioning, visibility, and branding, the cheapest way. Why people don't want to take this opportunity, yeah? And of course, inside is the home page. This is the home page. So when the students get into the course the first time, they will see, okay, nice graphic maybe, created in Canva, okay, engaging online learners. And there's a short text there, engage and facilitate your online learners for achieving meaningful and impactful learning. This part is called a blurb. A blurb, B-L-U-R-B. A blurb in marketing terminologies, people doing marketing, advertising, is a short, enticing text that basically, you know, would tell the audience the value of your course. That blurb will tell the prospective students how this course would solve their problem. You know, you want to tell them, to tell the learners how this course would solve your problem in terms of how would you engage students, how you facilitate students online. The blurb will also entice students to take your course because they feel there is a value. So what kind of value you want to promote? All this in a few words in the blurb. Not easy to write. And ladies and gentlemen, my friends who are listening, we're going to have, I have invited Dr. Atika from Pusat Pengajian Komunikasi. I don't know whether Atika is here. Dr. Atika is here. So she has, you know, agreed to conduct one webinar on writing, on copywriting, because you need to learn a skill called copywriting. So if you do Mooc, you learn how to do copywriting, and you can use this skill actually in, you know, in your writing, any form of writing. Very powerful. So you do Mooc, you get to learn so many other new things. Okay, that's a spin-off from doing Mooc. All right. Okay, I talk about learning activities a lot. Lots, hot activities, but then you will say, I don't have the much idea, you know, what kind of activities I can do. You know, the most I know, okay, I can do presentation, I can do quizzes, I can do this, I can, the most, what, 5, 6, 10 activities that I can create in my online course. I don't have, you know, can you give me ideas? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you this book free of charge, of course, because the author gave the book for free. Very good book. It's called Adding Some Tech Variety. You can Google, yeah, you can Google this and you can download the full PDF, close to 200 pages. Close to 200 pages. And you can see here in this book, turning page by sleeping at last. Sure, playing on YouTube. That's the Google Assistant. Okay, you'll find 100 plus learning activities of different level, different types, you know, for the lots and the HOTS, activities to motivate the students, activities to do all sort of things. Just pick and choose for your Mooc. Okay, so this book is for you, but I will give you more. I'll give you more shortly. So please bear with me. There are some of the take-home points before I go and show you some MOOCs online. Okay. So if you have not done MOOC or micro-credential, then I would strongly encourage you to enroll in any MOOCs. There are so many out there, because you want to be a student first, be a learner, explore the MOOC and feel what it's like to be on the student side. Then you will get ideas when you start to create your own MOOC as a teacher, as the course instructor. Okay, so be a learner first, learn first. Then when you design your MOOC or your micro-credential by extension, remember, content is important, but it's all about learning. That's basically the essence or the bottom line. Okay. Therefore, you must understand more about learning. So read anything, books and so on, understand more about learning. You know, I took one MOOC recently on Coursera about learning how to learn. And I think I about 20% completion now. I have yet to finish even 30%, but I have already learned a lot of new things about learning. I thought I know a lot about learning because I've been reading a lot, but there's still a lot more. And already I can see how I can apply what I have learned in that MOOC when I design my own MOOC. Okay. And doing online course or MOOC or micro-credential, you really need to look at things from different perspective. Although you have been teaching for 20 years face-to-face, but online is a different kind of thing, different beast, so to speak. Rethink your instructional strategy. Keep it simple. Then incorporate elements of community of inquiry framework. Go and learn more about community of inquiry, COI. Any online instructors, online educators must know about this so that you can incorporate those elements in social presence, teaching presence, cognitive presence. When you have all these three, you can't go wrong. You will have great MOOC. You will have great online course. Keeping learners' interest using appropriate activities, tools of technology. Yes. And connect, engage, inspire. And don't forget, close the loop, feedback and assessment. And finally, don't stop learning. Learn the tricks of the trade and stay humble. Don't go yet. I have probably in around so yeah, almost. Okay, that's another in about 50 minutes. I walk you through to some of the MOOCs. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you this module. Let me copy in the chat. Okay, click the link or copy the link and save it, or click the link and bookmark in your browser. Okay, I have spent a lot of time creating this online module, which can be a MOOC as well. I didn't check the Google Analytics. Probably I have thousands of views already from this. So this could be a MOOC. This could be a MOOC because it's online course, but I'm using Google site for this one. So this is a MOOC. You are looking at MOOC, hopefully MOOC lah, or you are looking at online course. I don't know whether it's MOOC yet or not, because I don't know how many thousands of students I have, or how many people have. Okay, all right. So, no, sorry, I'm smiling at reading the comment in the chat box. Right. So take this course. So what I have here, you see here, task 1, reading activity. Okay. So task 2, task 3, task 13, then another like create level thinking activity for HOTS. And I'm adding more and more from time to time. So this one, two example of HOTS activity. But here also there are some from task 1 until task 13. There are example of activities for HOTS, activities for LOTS. All you need to do, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, just come to this module. If you don't want to read the book just now, tech variety, start with this one. Here you can take and apply directly into your own Mooc. Just take the ideas from here, okay? And already you can have a few learning activities, meaningful learning activities already in your Mooc. Okay, there is one. But okay, the elements of Mooc, yeah, usually you will have, okay, let me show you this Mooc. Okay. This is not open for free, so this not Mooc in the real sense, but it's an online course. I'm offering this as a micro-credential because as you can see here, cost 50 ringgit to learn. Yeah, 50 ringgit to learn. So it's not free. So it's not Mooc per se, but it is an online course. But basically what I want to show you here, the features, the ciri-ciri on the land, this is called landing page. This is called landing page. So when the student come here, before they even pay 50 ringgit to join the course, they would want to know, okay, what the course is about. Okay, using Google Site to create a teaching or training module. Then there is a video, welcome video. Some people put a picture, a static picture. But remember, when people come and they found your course, your Mooc, whether they decide to take the course or not, there are many factors there. But one of it is the instructor. They want to see who is teaching, and they want to see the face of the instructor. So maybe put about 1 or 2 minutes of promotional video, like this. To conduct a training session, but this is a new training session for you, and you are thinking, I don't have the training module for this one yet. Fret not, we have Google Sites. Hi, hello everyone. My name is. So this video is created using the same laptop that I'm using now, the same webcam that I'm using now, and the same lighting that I'm using now, sitting at the same spot, the same background, and using application called OBS. OBS, yeah. OBS stand for. Oh, suddenly slipped my mind. OBS, but OBS, okay? Free application, and we have done a webinar on this, yeah. OBS stand for Open Broadcaster Studio. Yeah, Open Broadcaster Studio. I'm still young. Open Broadcaster Studio, OBS. Free application. Nothing much, nothing more. You can create just within inside your, at home or in your office, something like this. And this 1 minute 43 seconds tells about what the course is about. Yeah. And then there's a blurb. Remember the blurb I mentioned just now? DIY of creating a teaching or training module on the fly. Then there's a course information. Then here I tell, okay, I give the information whether the student want to pay or not. Remember, the Mooc must be standalone, substantive, of high value. Apology? Yeah, okay. So the course consists of 16 short lessons. Total duration of 1 hour 39 seconds. The lessons are delivered in the form of step-by-step walkthrough of all the features. So now there's the learning outcome is very simple. Only 2 learning outcome here. At the end of this course, at the end of this Mooc, you can use Google Site, and you can now create online teaching module or training module on the fly. Creating teaching module on the fly, meaning that within 20 minutes or half an hour, I can create a teaching module. And this is really true. I'm not exaggerating. The reason why I love Google Site, I can create a module like this, very easily within a very short time. So I think this module has value, great value. Although people can say that I can find all the videos about Google Site on YouTube. Yes, by all means, go and find all the video on YouTube, create your own playlist. Yes, I do that as well. But here, I put it together in a systematic manner, and I use my own experience. There are additional tips and so on that people can find in this course that really give value. For 50 ringgit that they pay, they will feel every cent that they pay for this course is really worth it. Yeah. So, and here I outline the course content, the whole course content of this one less than 2 hours, close to 2 hours course. And you can see on the right hand side here, okay, after they have completed, they will get a certificate, provided they submit. So this course is about 2 hours learning time and 2 hours project. So they have to submit the project. For Mooc, usually it's not compulsory for them to do the activities or to submit. But for micro-credential, because they pay in order for them to get a digital badge, they have to complete the assignment and submit, and then we will assess. If it meets all the requirement, then only they will get the certificate or the digital badge. So you get the idea how it looks like on the landing page. So when I click join, and let's say I pay 50 ringgit, then now I get access to the course. Now I will get to the home page now. So when I get to the home page, the first thing I see, this screen. So I can see the banner there using Google Site to create a teaching module. And for USM staff, we can help you to create a banner for you as well, especially for micro-credential module. But for Mooc challenge, of course, you have to create everything your own because this is your challenge. Yeah? But for other Mooc developers, we can help. And then this is a main page. You see, welcome to this module. Then there is a graphic, and there's course information and learning outcome, and some information about the navigation. Remember, on the Gili Salmon 5-stage model, you want to explain to the students how to get around your course and so on. Because remember, they probably the first time the student come to your course, and maybe the only course that they probably will take from you. So you want them to get the best experience so that they will come back and take another course from you. Okay. So then there is announcement, then learning activities. So as you can see here, learning activities here, I have a few unit or lessons in my course. So for 50 ringgit, is it substantive or not? I leave it to you to judge. But basically, if they go through all these lessons, they will have they will know much about Google Site and can really use it to create their training module, teaching module, and so on. And here, the introduction, I have one video, the same video in the promo, in the landing page, okay? Okay, I have the same video to introduce. And then I have another video on the last lesson, closing remark. That's the only video I have in my Mooc, in my micro-credential. Well, I hope I can do more, but I will start with that first. So this. All right. I hope when you watch this video, you have completed all the modules, all the lessons successfully, and perhaps you have published your Google Site already, online courses, and also to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So bye for now. Bye for now. Okay. But the rest of the lesson is basically PowerPoint and Voiceover. In this lesson, I'm going to show 5 examples PowerPoint, Voiceover, or teaching module. Make sure your PowerPoint is well designed. So your audio is crisp and clear. So if I scroll down, you can see you can have a very slow, subtle background music as well. The content on this page. In this case, I'm sharing my screen. And I'm on the home page. Not PowerPoint, but you can also do that. Here. Yeah, share the PowerPoint as well. On the home page, as indicated by. Then, finally, I have a mini project. The content in this case, because there is micro-credential that they have to show their they have acquired the skill, so they have to create a module using Google site and submit. Okay, submit, then only they will get the digital badge. I don't have many learning activities here. As you can see, all these are actually just one video. So this is basically the example of Mooc that you can do a simple one, and it may not be the good Mooc because we just deliver the content one way in the form of video. But for micro-credential, because micro-credential people just want to get a skill, they want to learn how to use Google site. They didn't care about doing other activities and so on. They just want to get a skill. So that's okay. But for Mooc, you might want to have activities built around that. So for that, I will show example here, penyesuaian susu ibu here, okay, which currently have, as you can see there, 13,000 learners. Yeah. Okay. What time now? Okay. I'll try to finish everything by 4:30. I hope there are not many questions because I think it's clear. But if you have questions, I will try to answer a few questions later on. So 13,000 students. Again, you have the title, you have the promo video, which is very nicely done. Congratulations. These are the group of people that when I went first time to campus Kesihatan, they confess that they are buta technology, and see what they have produced now. So much for buta technology. That's great. Yeah, that's really great. And it's some description, the learning outcome, who are teaching the course. These are all wonderful ladies. These doktor pakar semuanya, hebat semuanya, but yet still can produce a good book. Congratulations. Salute to them. Okay. Now let's join. Have a quick look. Please bear with me because and at the same time, when I'm showing this, I want you to relate with all the elements that I've mentioned in my first part of my presentation just now. Yeah. See how these are translated into the actual thing in the Mooc. Purple background, purple color, which is our USM. So nice, you see the banner. Okay, now selamat datang ke kursus penyesuaian susu ibu. Salam perkenalan, kami amat berbangga dapat melihat anda menyertai kursus ini. Sejuk hati bila baca. Kursus ini merupakan kursus mempromosi, menyokong polisi. Dia start dengan maintain about ni. Dia start dulu dengan polisi supaya semua all the learners of this Mooc understand that whatever we do now is actually aligned with the policy of polisi kebangsaan penyesuaian susu ibu. Saya tak pernah tahu punya ada polisi. Yeah, now I know because of looking at this Mooc. Okay, so kandungan khusus, ada satu video menerangkan kandungan khusus. Comel pula kucing tu, ya. Untuk menjadikan sesi pembelajaran ini lebih menarik, jangan lupa kongsikan maklumat. Okay, what you need to do. This is setting the expectation. Remember I mentioned about setting the expectation, giving the information, setting the expectation, and so on about the Mooc. So as a new student, new learner to this Mooc, now I getting to know more and more about the course. Okay, So this like orientation to the course, informasi tentang kursus. Okay, kemudian ramai student tu kat bawah tu ya. Tak apalah dia orang sebut sikit-sikit hello pun tak apalah. Okay, modul dan aktiviti. Okay, you see, jom kita mulakan. Kongsi apa yang anda ingin capai. Kongsi apa yang anda ingin capai di akhir kursus ini. Remember I mentioned about ask the student to set their expectation. What do they expect to learn from this course? So that you can now strategize accordingly. Okay. Okay, jom kita mulakan. Okay, jom kita mulakan. Okay, so jom kita mulakan. Kami akan menerangkan secara. So it's like talking in a informal manner to the students. Although the facilitators are not there, the instructors are not there in synchronously. So that's how we can do the writing in such a way that we are like having a conversation with our students. Then kongsi apa ini? Netiquette. Ni again telling the students the do's and the don'ts when you take this course. Okay, the netiquette. Aku janji, siap aku janji. Lagi hebat. Mooc ni. Kita tak kata buat aku janji, dia pun buat aku janji. Lagi hebat. Ya. Persediaan untuk pengajar. Asas pendidikan penyusuan. Kenali fasilitator anda. Di sini dia perkenalkan semua fasilitator. Dia tidak berselindung di sebalik apa ni lalang sehelai. Okay. I can see Canva here. Yeah. When I look at the slide, I know this Canva. Bila saya tengok siapa pengajar Mooc ini, terus saya nak ambil. Okay. Okay. Okay, apa lagi? Okay. Pendidikan, asas pendidikan apa yang ada dalam ni. Ada banyak nak tunjuk. So please, ladies and gentlemen, you all explore lah nanti dalam Mooc USM ni. Nak tengok lebih banyak lagi sebab tak ada masa untuk saya tunjukkan semua ya. Tapi ini salah satu contoh yang saya pilih dan saya minta you all semua cari masa untuk tengok ya. So saya nak cari video yang Puan Nazirah, yang mana yang ada video pengajar.
Video pengajar mana tu, bro?
Yang ada muka you all keluar tu. Modul mana?
Yang dekat kenali facilitator tadi lah.
Okay, what about yang lain-lain ni?
Maksudnya dalam video topik.
Oh, video topik. Topik mana?
Tak. Dalam modul.
Di bawah modul. Ni lah, ni.
Ya.
Okay. Ini, okay. Kenali struktur udara modul.
Kat situ pun ada.
Oh, okay. Modul 5, modul 6, modul 7, modul 8. Hebat Mooc ni. Modul 11, modul 12. Okey. Ini modul yang tak dapat top 3 ni. Dah hebat macam ni. Memang hebatlah Mooc USM ni kan. So modul 1 ada? Ada instructor video?
Ya ada.
Ada yang mana? Ini boleh? Kepentingan penyusuan ibu. Boleh? Ada, okey. Nasib baik tuan punya yang dekat sini. Cepat sikit saya nak minta ni ya. Wow Dan semua gambar-gambar ni tak ada isu copyright kan? Dia orang dah belajar macam mana nak mengatasi isu-isu copyright. Tu dia. Hebat sungguh. Salute.
Kepentingan penyusuan susu ibu kepada bayi. Apakah kepentingan penyusuan susu?
So I must say that I'm proud to be part of this Mooc. Yeah. So dan mengaku terus menjadi part of the Mooc. Well, I'm really proud of what I have seen in this Mooc. So, but we want more. We want more, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues. We want more. So I'm sure you want USM to be proud of our Mooc. So come on, everyone, come on. Let's do more Mooc and quality Mooc. Okay. All right, so let's look at another example. Yang ini Dr. Loh Hui Min, ya, congratulations once again Dr. Loh yang memenangi MOOC kita. Tengok, belum lagi play the video, you tengok gambar Dr. Loh kat sini pun dah rasa nak ambil modul ni kan. Dengan muka dia yang ceria, very welcoming, very energetic. That basically the psychology behind it. So if I play the video.
Adakah Anda nak tahu tentang masalah bahasa dan komunikasi?
Ya, adakah Anda nak tahu masalah bahasa dan komunikasi? Saya jawab ya, terus jawab ya dan nak ambil this MOOC. Okay, so alright. Again, I don't want to drag this too long. It's already 4:30. Maybe I can take a few questions. But I have given and I've shared with you the elements of good MOOC. And now, let me copy the link to this and so that you can explore further in the chat. Link to this MOOC that I'm sharing with you now. Yeah, music tu tak ada copyright juga ke? Yes. And everything you see, the picture, the music, everything, we make sure that there is no copyright issue. So facilitating for success. So you just copy this MOOC link and you explore selepas apa ni? Selepas ini you can explore penyusuan susu ibu. Facilitating, okay. Ni using Google Site tak payah sebab dia micro-credential. Okay. Okay lah. I think all you need to do now is to go to USM MOOC and explore some of our MOOC and at least 2 of the MOOC that I'm sharing, 3 MOOCs here. Facilitating online learning and the other one is on world facilitating. Ada banyak contoh kalau saya nak tunjukkan ya, but I think that will do. Okay, let me now look at some of the question, or if you want to ask any question, you can unmute the microphone and ask directly while I'm looking at while I look at the chat box here to pick some questions. Yeah, are you showing any slide? Oh, ini pada awal tadi tu, because I don't see the chat box. Yeah, I'm so sorry at the beginning just now, I made that mistake. Creating MOOC is a time consuming, especially in the content development and creating the element inside the MOOC. How to make it time saving? There is no easy answer for that. There's no shortcut, really. No shortcut. If you want to create good MOOC, we have to plan in such a way, and you have to really find a time where you can squeeze in the time and develop the content. But I guess start small. If you, let's say you want to do a MOOC on one topic, and in that topic, you have several lessons like this. So why not start with one lesson dulu and create that MOOC on the platform so that you can start to see the MOOC is already become a physical product already that you can see. That would give you the motivation to do. So if you have, let's say, 10 lessons from that one topic of your MOOC, start with one lesson dulu. That will give you the experience, will give you the momentum to get going. Okay. So there's no shortcut really. Prof, you said, well, to make time saving, again, maybe don't go for high-end video and so on. Just make it simple dulu. Then once you have the whole MOOC done, then it's a continuous process of improving it from time to time. Okay. Okay, anyone would like to ask a question directly? If you have any question while I'm looking at the chat here. Okay, from YouTube. What makes learners choose MOOC compared to YouTube? Because learning also can be done from YouTube or Google platform. Exactly. Just like this one, using Google Site to create a teaching module. You can simply go to YouTube, but if you are diligent enough or rajin enough, find all the tutorial on Google Site, put them in one playlist, you can learn everything there for most thing. But for some certain topic, certain subject, you won't be able to find a complete course on YouTube. So for that, you have to find alternative like the Mooc or the micro-credential. Yeah, okay. Ada orang pas ke tak pas ke untuk mini project ni? Yes, for micro-credential, yes. But for Mooc, it's not necessary because up to the students whether they want to complete the assignment or not. Yeah. Is it the component? Alamak, dia bergerak. Is it? Okay. Is it the components of Mooc should be included in one module of Mooc? Oh, meaning all the components that I mentioned just now, should it be included all of them in one Mooc? Not necessarily, not necessarily. But I would say the more you have it, the more complete your Mooc, the better your Mooc will be. So all those elements like, the learning activities, the assessment, the engagement, everything. Yeah. Music, tak ada copyright. No, music, everything, pictures, everything that we use. Okay, for Mooc, yeah. Okay, this something maybe because of that question remind me something. For Mooc, unlike micro-credential where you will charge for the module, people will pay. So therefore, you must make sure that you must have all the original content. If you want to use copyrighted content, you must get permission because you sell, you make money, you make profit from your module. But for Mooc, because of you making it available free, so you can embed a YouTube video, you can embed other people's content in your copyrighted material even, as long as you give credit, because you are using it within the scope of fair use, because for educational purposes, because you are not making money from your Mooc. That's a big difference there in terms of content. So it's easier because you don't have to have, in fact, you can create a Mooc. I have seen a few Mooc, very good one, but they don't have their own original content. They use content from other people's content, the good content that they choose, they curate the content and they create a course, they create a Mooc, but not even one of their own original content. That can happen for Mooc, but cannot for micro-credential. Yeah. Alright, so apa lagi? Wani, can you see any question that I missed? Anyone? Would like to ask questions? Tajuk buku-buku untuk backward design model yang relevan dengan OBE yang Prof sentuh tadi apa ya? I share on my Facebook. Let me quickly go to the Facebook if I can find it. Dalam aspiring yang academic, I share the book. Yeah. I'm sure I share in the slow. Yes, this one. That's the book. Oh, ada satu buku, Writing Interaction Fiction, ya. Interactive fiction, macam-macam buku saya beli, ya. Sebab minat nak tulis interactive story lah kononnya, ya. So this book I bought, Understanding by Design, the Understanding by Design Guide to Create High Quality Unit, Fundamental of Understanding by Design. Altogether, I think these 3 books probably around 300 something together, 400 maybe, 400 something. This one is cheap. Okay, those are the books if you're interested. Can you see the screen that I'm showing in case you don't see my screen? Nampak tak screen? Aku tak share lagi. Can you all see the screen? Okay. If you have problem, okay. Okay, maybe those, from USM, if you want to get a CPD point, please fill up the link. Please fill up the survey. It's open for half an hour. Then after that, we will close. So I guess I have answered all the questions. If I miss anything, you can unmute the microphone and ask directly. Otherwise, I think I will wrap up at this point. And maybe as a final remarks, I want to urge everyone, yeah, but of course, especially from USM, please support our Mooc agenda. And then our Mooc challenge is still open. Our Mooc challenge is still open here, yeah, until 21st of March. 21st of March. Hari ni apa bulan? So
Malam Prof tutup.
Oops. Dah tutup. Hari bulan tak ingat. Oh, dah tutup. Okay. Okay, tak apa. So thank you very much. Although without this Mooc challenge, this is a call to action for everyone to start with micro-credential. Remember, start on your micro-credential. From there, katakan 10 modul daripada micro-credential tadi, take one and offer as Mooc. That will become your kind of teaser for your micro-credential program. Alright. Itu sajalah. Tekak pun dah sakit. Saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada semua yang dapat hadir. Let me check. Tak sempat. Okay, how many? Oh, okay. We have about 100 over participants. So thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know how many on YouTube, but I hope it's worth your time spent this afternoon. Really worth it. You get some ideas, some information about Mooc and understand more about Mooc. And don't stop at this point only. Take action. Start thinking about what Mooc you want to do, which topic you want to start with. Start small, okay? Start small and then take the momentum from there. So with that, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and have a nice day, everyone. Thank you. Okay, Wani, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Waalaikumsalam.